Well, it's been a minute since I've done this. Hope you all are doing well. I've taken a month off of creating content, and I took a month away to kind of sit back and reevaluate how I'm feeling or what I'm doing. So I guess hold on to your fucking horses, because I'm not going to be I'm not going to filter anything, really. I just don't really give a shit anymore. So I've taken a month to just kind of like stop uploading, and I needed a break to just step away and reevaluate some stuff. Everything that, well, not everything, but most of the things I'm probably going to say don't really apply to a certain group of you guys. And there's been certain people that have been incredibly supportive over the years of me doing this. And you all know who you are, you know, Raptor and Jay and Violent and Ray and Sam and Misty and Low and Doc, and the list goes on and on and on and on. There's quite a lot of you people, and I think you believe, you know who you are, right? Buddy and Alpha, there's quite a bit of people that this doesn't really apply to, some of the things that I might talk about. But just really what this all boils down to is, I think I really wanted to be, or at least become, some sort of content creator on YouTube. I guess I had this vision that I was going to be able to do this and make it a full-time career, and that's what I was going to do, and that's what I was going to enjoy happening. And the truth is that, if I'm being blatantly honest, it's a fucking pipe dream. Like, it really is. And I'm not blaming anybody, you know what I mean? More so, the situation kind of bums me out a little bit, but the realization that it's going on, that's what is happening, is a little bit different. I don't know exactly how to describe that. It's not necessarily a negative feeling, even though some of the things that may come out of my mouth may come across as a little negative. I shut Patreon down. That's down. The YouTube membership thing is still open, and I'm going to explain why that's still open. The merchandise thing is probably going to come down too, for like, what is it, like the 4 fucking t-shirts that might have sold in that whole thing. Wait, I believe, if you watch this, I'm pretty sure there's a pair of sweatpants out there somewhere. You glorious bastard, you. Yeah, I can't justify it anymore, right? Like between making, if I wanted to become a content creator on YouTube, I don't think gaming is the way to do it anymore. I just don't. I think it's overly saturated, and I think, for as far as like payout of like ad revenue and things like that, it's lower, if not the lowest, compared to everything else, right? If you're not familiar with how that works, basically, so it's basically a number that you would receive per 1,000 views of a video, or just in general, right? Like per 1,000 views, right? For somebody that's in the gaming stuff, I mean, and maybe mine's just skewed because I suck, I don't know, but I think, so mine is like somewhere around like $3 per 1,000 views that would happen on the channel, right? Which leads me into another thing that I'm a little frustrated about, which is going to be, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, I don't give a fuck. So the typical, why am I holding chapstick in my hand? Huh. Why do I even have chapstick down here? Anyway, Jesus, I'm already going to get myself in trouble. So what I ran into, anyway, back to the CPM thing. So $3 per like 1,000 views, right? So let's take a typical ARC video that I would make. Take about 5 hours recording it, probably another 3 to 4 hours editing it. By the time you get your thumbnail done and get it uploaded, make sure your tags and your title and everything is optimized for the damn algorithm that you are constantly fighting against as any sort of content creator on this platform. Which is so weird. That's something else I'd love to talk about. But at the end of the day, you're like, all right, so I spent like 10 hours doing this, and I upload this video and there's like 200 views on it. Like, is this really worth my fucking time anymore? For 5 years doing this shit? No, it's not. It's not worth it, right? It's just, I think things would have been a lot differently if I'd have started YouTube when I was like a lot younger, like a lot younger. I think it would have been a lot different, and maybe it would have, maybe it would be the same. I don't know. And I've sort of also been trying to evaluate over the years, like I look at the bigger gaming content creators and I go, okay, what are those people doing that I'm not doing? And there are some times where I have an answer to that, and sometimes where I just like, I don't have an answer. I'm doing the same damn thing. So that part can be super frustrating when you try to look towards people that are clearly successful, and then you go and try to emulate at least certain traits to kind of almost use them as a template, if you will, right? To learn from them. I think if anybody's being honest on this platform, they probably do it with anybody bigger than them. It's just a natural thing, right? If you're trying to be good at something, you want to find the people that are really good at it and then learn from them. So that's what I've been trying to do. And honestly, it just hasn't seemed to pay off. And maybe that's me. Maybe I'm being stubborn about something. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm not paying enough attention to something. It very well could be me, right? But I can't justify it. The other thing that I think was definitely frustrating for me over the last 5 years is I look at the sub count on the channel, which is almost 11,000. And then the typical views on the video I put out is like anywhere between 200 and 300 views on a video. That is fucking depressing, right? Like, and I'm mainly because I don't give a shit. Like somewhere along the last like month, my give a shit thing is just snapped. So if you're offended or bothered by it, I'm not too sure I give a fuck. It is super frustrating to see like almost 11K subs on your channel and then put a video out and like 200 people watch it. You're just like, the fuck are these other 9,800 people doing? So and this is kind of to let you in from a content standpoint, a content creator standpoint to a viewer standpoint. We appreciate it when you stop and hit a sub because you think you're helping out. But when you're not actually present, it's a half-assed measure. It is a half-assed way of doing things. If you genuinely want to support a content creator, don't just hit a sub button, actually watch their shit and be involved in it, because that's what keeps them afloat. Little by little, one by one, that's what does it. I'm sure there might be people that might want to argue that point with me. I think that those people would be full of shit. So, and I'm willing to have that conversation, and I don't really care, right? At the end of it is super frustrating when you have all of these people that you think are going to follow you and they're not. So my challenge to anybody watching this video, specifically if you fall in that 9,800 category, is the next time you hit sub to anybody's YouTube account, it doesn't matter, YouTube, Twitch, fucking Rumble, what is it, Kick, the other one that started, it doesn't matter what it is. Make an avid effort to actually be a part of the community. Because when you just hit a button and think that you've done some sort of due diligence to support somebody, you haven't really done shit. Not really. In the grand scheme of things, especially YouTube doesn't really give a shit about that. To a degree, it cares, like the algorithm kind of cares about your sub count, and you might get some fancy plaque to hang on your fucking wall behind you. But I'll be honest, I can get one of those made that, yeah, I could like get one with a big green hat on it or some shit, or a chili pepper helmet. I just go get one fucking made by a sign shop. Like, it's not that important, right? But yeah, like, just don't do that shit. It sucks. It really sucks. It sucks to see that. And I'm sure some of this is going to come across as like whiny or bitchy or whatever. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. This is where I get to vent, and I don't give a shit what happens, right? So moving forward from all this, I'm not making gaming content anymore. I'm not making gaming content. I may stream video games here and there when I choose to and when I feel like it. I'm not nailing that down to a schedule. I'm not nailing that down to all the time it's going to be on this day, this time. I'm not doing any of that bullshit. If I want to stream, I'll throw something in our Discord and let you guys know as far ahead of time as I can, and then I'm just going to do it. And I'm not too terribly concerned what the reactions are going to be outside of that. The only reason I'm going to keep the channel up, which I think is probably some things are going to change, right? I'm going away from the gaming content, and I have had this kind of epiphany in the last month that I wanted to be a content creator, and I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do within the content creation realm. I just chose video games because it was something that I really enjoyed doing, and I just kind of ran with it. In retrospect, I think that was a dumb maneuver because I really enjoy doing it, and I turned it into a fucking job. Like, this is like 20 to 25 hours a week I was doing this shit, on top of a 40-hour work week on the non-busy weeks. Like, busting my ass because that's what this silly ass algorithm demands of you, if you want to quote unquote make it. And the truth is it's fucking absurd. It really is. Which the algorithm of, especially of YouTube. Now I know there's this shit that really kind of applies everywhere, but it definitely applies here, right? Like the algorithm is no longer helpful. The algorithm is a boss that you have to beat. That's how it works now. The search engine optimization, all that other bull. If you Google how to make it as a YouTube content creator, I guarantee you the first 20 views that you see, the first 20 videos that you're going to find, which ironically enough are going to be on YouTube, all say the same goddamn thing. Make sure your tags are right. Make sure your titles are right. Upload on a regular basis. Make sure your thumbnails are captivating. Blah, 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 blah. The same fucking thing 20 times in a row. Now, is that because out of those 20, anybody actually has some unique information to provide you? No, it's because they realized they could make money and views off of doing it. That's why they did it. Anyway, you are not trying to meet the expectations of how the YouTube algorithm works. You are constantly trying to fight against it. You are paddling against the current. Now, as your channel gets bigger and your community gets bigger and your support gets bigger, you stop using a paddle and you start using a motor, and shit tends to get a little bit easier, but you are still going against the current 9 times out of 10 until you're some sort of huge, gigantic person on this platform or on any other one. I don't like the way the YouTube does a lot of their shit. The more and more I've gotten involved in content creation, and again, take this with a grain of salt. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, he has 10,000 subs. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about." Fuck you. How many do you have? I guess I don't know. And it doesn't really make my point any less valid. Like, it has nothing to do with it. Even if I didn't have a YouTube channel, the shit would be true, whether you like it or not. But yeah, you're constantly fighting against that. And I think the more and more I've realized that, the more and more frustrated I've gotten with it. And the more and more I've just kind of went, I'm not sure I want to fucking do this anymore. So it's a culmination of a lot of things. And I think at first I was a little bummed out about it. But I'll be honest, having like 20 extra hours of free time during the week has been fucking amazing this last month. I've gotten so much more stuff done. I've gotten so much more things done. It's been great. I've gotten some like hobby projects done for somebody. I got some house work done. I got some car work done. I got all sorts of stuff done. I also had some bad stuff happen in the last month, but you all know that I have I had 2 pooch dogs. I lost one back a couple years back during COVID, and then we lost the other one about a month back, and that was kind of heavy too. So that was the other reason why I took a step back. But ultimately, I kind of think that made me prioritize things a little bit and go, that was 20 hours a week. I could have been goofing around with that animal and taking him out for walks into the park and shit. But no, I was glued down to the stupid ass computer making videos that some days I didn't want to make, which is another thing that's frustrating too, right? Like when you put that much effort into making content, and there have been plenty of days and times where I've pulled up OBS and pulled up something that I needed to record and went, fuck, I don't want to do this shit. I have multiple occasions. I've went to start a stream out going, fuck, I do not want to do this. I don't. But I kept seeing maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And what I have found is that the closer you think you've getting to the light, the further that light's actually getting away. It's like a never-ending staircase. It's fucking stupid. So I decided to just, collectively, I'm just walking away from it. From gaming, anyway. From gaming content, I'm just not doing it anymore. These days, it's not really, I mean, it's just too much. But what I would want to do, and it's not even a would want to do, it's what I'm going to do. It's just a matter of when and exactly how I'm going to do it. It's something that I've been talking about over the years. I started to do podcasts with other content creators within not even just YouTube, really. It could be on any platform, really. And talk to them about the hurdles that they may experience doing what they're doing. And then maybe almost turn it into more of like an interview sort of thing and talk to them about just general, maybe what got them into doing what they're doing, where their interests lie, and then again the hurdles that they ran into doing all of these things, and maybe how they've gotten over some of those hurdles, or if they haven't, what's going on, you know. And I think that would be fun to do because I'm interested by people that I think that have some sort of story to tell. I find myself interested by those people. And I also think there's something to learn from just about anybody that you have a conversation with, at least a meaningful one anyway. So I want to start doing that. I have a few folks in mind that I believe I'm going to reach out to and see if they would like to partake in something like that. But I'm also not going to pull any punches with the things that I talk about. What I mean by that is that while I haven't experienced a lot of that yet, the censorship issues on this platform are fucking monumental. The fact that I've sworn a few times in here is probably already going to be enough to have it under review for some bullshit, but I don't care because I'm not putting ad revenue or I'm not monetizing this fucking video at all. So if you see ads, it's not me. That's Google trying to make a buck. Anyway, that's what I want to start doing. And I want to start picking apart these platforms that are doing things differently. And I want to talk about that. I feel like as a business, you should be open to criticism. So I don't see where the bad parts would be to talking about things like that. It really depends on whether or not those creators are willing to go down that road with me and talk about them. So I'm going to kind of have to make that known ahead of time that I may very well talk about shit that maybe there would be a little nervous about talking about. But yeah, so there's a few people that I want to do that with. Now my goal would be, and it doesn't even have to be on YouTube. I could do shit anywhere, so I don't really care what happens here. Maybe I'll piss YouTube off and they'll cancel me and I'll just go do it somewhere else. I think the goal really would be that, and then I kind of look at it like a two-edged thing, right? So as a content creator, obviously you want people to come to your channel and interact, and you generate revenue based on the size of that community. At the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to, the size of the actual community, not the people that just hit a button and say they're in the community, but the people that are actually fucking active, right? The bigger that community is, the more successful you are on that platform. So if you're trying to turn something like that into a career, that's genuinely how you have to look at it. Now, people may sugarcoat it. I don't give a shit. I'm not. So I would like to sit down and possibly talk to those people and see what they think and maybe what they're going through. Maybe there's things that they're doing to get over certain hurdles that I haven't even thought of, you know? So again, I feel like everybody sort of wins in that environment, right? Like, I feel like that would be a cool idea to do, especially if I focused with like smaller to medium-sized content creators, mainly because I feel like this platform and quite a lot of others shit on their smaller content creators. Maybe they don't even know they're shitting on them, but they definitely shit on them, which is kind of odd to me, especially in today's environment where we love instant gratification and we're constantly looking for the next new thing all the time. It seems to me like if you're in a platform like YouTube, wouldn't you be promoting your smaller content to see if they're that next big thing? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me. I look at some smaller content creators and I go, why the fuck are these people so small, right? Like, I would not assume that everybody in the world would be a fan of everything that I did, but I would be willing to bet that if you were to take some of the videos that I've done and throw them out to everybody that came onto YouTube that was interested in gaming, it would have been a lot different. Now, that's not me bitching and saying YouTube needs to do that for me, but it does make an argument as to why some of these other smaller content creators are smaller, and that's because they just don't have the leg up, and this environment is overly saturated, right? So if YouTube actually took the effort, and when I say YouTube, I really mean any platform that you're on, took the effort to invest in their smaller content creators and streamers, perhaps they'd be in an even better situation. But I feel like right now they're too busy pandering to larger content creators to make sure that they stay, and also trying to push whatever social political narrative they can at the same time. That really doesn't apply to the gaming stuff, but you know what I mean. End all be all, that's what I would like to do. I'd like to start talking to individuals about the platforms and how they're doing things and what's been working and what hasn't. They're kind of just journey across all of this, whether they've been doing it for 30 minutes or whether they've doing it for 30 years, you know? So like I said, there's a few individuals that I want to reach out and talk to, and I'm going to do that fairly soon. But I'm also not going to abide by a strict schedule doing all this shit because I refuse to put myself in the situation where I was in before, where I'm rushing and cramming to make sure all these videos are out on time. I'm not doing that shit. I'll let you guys know in our Discord roughly, you know, beforehand when something like that may happen. I imagine that if I was recording something like that with an individual, you'd probably even see it in our Discord. You wouldn't be able to hear it, but you'd be able to see like people interacting on there. Maybe you might be able to. But yeah, so that's the gist of it, and that's where I'm going with it. Patreon's taken down. I've already taken that down. I already said that. The merchandise store is already being taken down. I already took that down, or I haven't taken that down. I'm going to take that down very soon. The membership things are going to stay, and that's only if you choose to support it. I'm probably going to bring it down to just one tier and nothing else, and that's all I'm going to do. I don't, it's just too much to manage about finding this and getting this early and doing all this other shit. Like, it's just too much. Maybe I'll do 2 tiers. I don't know yet. I haven't figured that out. Maybe I'll leave it alone. I don't know. At any rate, there's going to be a lot of changes on the page as well, obviously, because I'm going to steer away from the gaming stuff. So a lot of the tags and titles and structure is probably going to change probably in the next month or so. Maybe even the name and logo and things may change as well. You might see a complete different channel here in the next little bit. So if you're not on board with that, or if you don't like it, I completely understand. If you want to leave and go find some other content to watch, this is going to sound heartless, but I don't really give a fuck. I'm just going to do what I want to do at this point and see where it goes. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So this is very unapologetically how I feel. And honestly, it's kind of nice to be in that position where I don't give a shit. And I plan on staying in that position of I don't give a shit for as long as I can not give a shit. It's a lot of shit. Right? You know. Anyway. I don't know if there's anything else I needed to talk about. I feel like that's all the stuff that I wanted to get off my chest. I will still be around. I've been kind of away from Discord for a little bit, but I'll probably be back on there from time to time. Honestly, I've just arced out. I was tired of playing Ark. I've been playing Ark like nonstop, and Ark 2 and this Ark Ascended bullshit that they're like peddling, bootlegging around is just absolute garbage. Every fiber of my being tells me walk away from this stupid ass franchise because they're just trying to cash in like Disney. It's like that's all it really is. Like, let's just try to make as much fucking money as we can, and then that's it. That's it. Like, god damn it, video games need to get their heads out of their asses. Whew. Yeah. So I don't know. That's my idea, and that's where I plan on going. Oh, if for whatever fucked up reason you find yourself being a content creator and you're interested in talking about these things, find me on our Discord, shoot me an email, whatever the case is, find me, reach out to me, and let me know. Like I said, there's a few people that I'm going to reach out to, and if I can schedule those things, I'm going to. And if not, I just won't fucking do it. But if you're interested in doing something like that, let me know. Let me know. Because that's what we're looking for. Like, not me. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for smaller to medium content creators that want to talk about the crap that they have to go through being a content creator, right? And not just crap. Like, I say that in a negative light, but maybe the things that you have figured out and the things that have been awesome and the good experiences you've had with it as well, right? So it's not all bad. I've met some wonderful people on here and saw some really cool things happen. And yeah, I mean, there's a really good feeling when you post a video and somebody makes a really nice comment or a funny comment on it. I know that sounds silly, but it really does. I think it kind of applies to anything in your life, really. So whether you're building a rocket ship or you're shoveling shit, if somebody comes by and says, "Hey, you were shoveling the shit out of that shit," you get a good feeling when there's positive reinforcement when you're busting your ass or trying to do something well, regardless of what that thing is. So even little things like that always meant a lot to me. And then people showing up to streams and meeting some of the people that I've been able to meet. It's been a wonderful experience, and there's a lot of it that I would not trade. There's definitely a bit of it that I would throw in a dumpster fire in a heartbeat. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. So I guess I'll probably post some updates on Discord here and there when things are going to change or when I'm going to do something. If you pop by the channel here, you might see some changes here and there. But ultimately, too long didn't read. I'm not making gaming content anymore. I'm not abiding by a strict schedule. I'd like to start doing podcasts and talk about people that are trying to make this thing work for them and how they're doing it. And I don't give a fuck whether you like it or not. Okay, thanks, bye.